As a man who has won 6 Premier League titles with Manchester United. Good morning to Nicky Butt. Morning, Nicky.
Morning, Nicky. How are you this morning, mate?
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. I'm good. Guys, you okay?
Yeah, very
great,
good,
thanks.
you. Let's take an overview, Nicky, shall we, first of all? Look, a win over Fulham, narrow defeat against Brighton, big defeat against Liverpool. Have you seen any improvement in this United side this season from last season?
Short answer is no. I don't think they're anywhere near what they need to be to compete at the top. The signings for me don't scream out challenging for the Premier League. I think what Man United are trying to do at the minute is build a squad just to get back into Europe. And yesterday highlighted that fact, particularly in midfield.
Nicky, I think you're right, mate. There's not going to be. I never thought for a minute we would see a dramatic change in Manchester United this season. Victory against Fulham at home. Was down at Brighton, mate. I mean, they're unlucky. If the offside goal goes in, they could see the game out. There was nothing in that game at all. And even yesterday, Nicky, I actually didn't expect Manchester United to win the game. I know there a couple of draws against Liverpool beforehand and a couple of good performances. I thought they'd played well in the Community Shield against City, but I still fancied Liverpool to win the game. But it was the kind of manner that they won the game I wouldn't say shocked me, but surprised me a little bit, mate. Yeah,
I agree with that, Ali. I think the thing with Man United now, when you go to Old Trafford, no one expects to go and win games easily. There's no confidence there. You can see that in the fans. You can see that on the pitch. So somehow Erik ten Hag has to get some belief back into his squad that they can go and beat people at home, because Old Trafford should be a fortress for any team that comes there. And at the minute, when they're coming there, they're looking like it's an exciting place to come and play football and express themselves. And that's never happened in all the years I've been going to Man United. And certainly against Liverpool, they look like a team that were streets ahead of Man United on the wings, in the forward play, in the midfield. And I don't know where, for me, hopefully the lad we brought in from PSG is Ugarte. Hopefully he's going to bring legs into midfield, because at the minute we're relying on young Cobby, who's had an amazing first season last season, did great in the Euros, but he's going to have a blip. He's a young player, he's going to have a blip. And to carry Man United in that midfield at that age is difficult. So hopefully the lad they brought in from PSG will give them some legs when he starts playing for us.
Well, obviously they've got players to come back, Shaw and Mount and Højlund. We haven't seen Lenny Euro yet, and you mentioned Ugarte as well. But it's a simplistic tool to use, Nicky. But when you look at the Liverpool side and their bench, and you compare it with the Manchester United side and their bench, well, how many Manchester United players would get into that Liverpool squad?
Yeah, you're asking a good question there, Jeff. I mean, probably none, looking at yesterday. And you're looking at the bench. I think the bench is a big indicator of a good team that's going to be successful. Yeah. And they just don't have any players to come on and impact the game at the minute. Hopefully they'll get some players back in over the next few weeks when we get back off the international break. But the bigger picture for me is I don't see a plan in the project, in the signings. I don't understand what kind of players they're going for. I'm sure they do. They've got a whole new setup at Man United now of recruitment and how they go and buy players. But the players that we're signing, they're not superstars of their clubs, if you know what I mean. They're just decent players, G or wherever they're at. They're not. We used to go. The Man United used to go and sign the best players from the clubs, and now we're getting players that are maybe not even playing for their respective clubs the season before. And we seem to be on the market for buying them players, and it's strange.
Is that probably an effect of what's happened in recent years, though, Nicky? I think that, for example, City and indeed Liverpool and Arsenal now, they go down as title favourites, right? So is it a natural thing that if you're a player playing in Europe, Manchester United, obviously, when the team under Sir Alex and yourself, that was the team to want to go to. Now there's more options and definitely a better chance of winning things, whether it's the title or indeed the Champions League.
Yeah, I think the big thing at this, certainly for this season, is the Champions League. Not being in that, it pulls a lot of players away from Man United. But I do think the club's still got a massive pull. It's a historical club. It's a massive stadium, probably the most followed club in the world. And I think it still does have a pull. So you have to make it more attractive to them, whether that's obviously finances, but it has to be a project of how you speak to players and how you bring them in. It has to be a project of where they see themselves in 2 years' time. So most of the players that we're going to go and buy, they're going to be younger players that are coming up. So you have to have a vision of where the club's going to be in 2 and 3, 4 years. And I'm the biggest Man United fan you'll ever see. And I don't know what that vision is, because I don't know what they're trying to build.
We've all seen the pictures of Jim Ratcliffe sitting in the stands with his head in his hands, Nicky. Do you think he's thinking I've made a mistake here by extending Erik ten Hag's contract?
I think it was forced upon him that if I'm honest with you, because it's quite openly admitted that they were looking for a new manager. It was common noise. They'd been looking over Europe over the summer and towards the end of last season. But I think if they haven't found the right one to come in, why replace someone they don't really want for someone they don't really want? If you know what I mean, you have to go on one or two favourites come into the job. If they're going to go and bring someone in who's fourth and fifth choice, you may as well stay with Erik ten Hag and let him hopefully get us at least a bit of stability in the Premier League. So I agree why they've done that, but it's obviously because they didn't find the one that they wanted.
Like, I feel as though we're battering you this morning. I'm going to batter you one more time before we let you go. What about Casemiro? I was looking at Casemiro, and I looked at him towards the end of last season, mate, and I thought he was looking tired, and I'm thinking to myself, he either needs a rest, and I'm hoping it's not just to reach the top of that hill on the way down. And I actually thought he started the season really well. Pre-season he looked good, some good performances. I mean, we've all had games like yesterday, but to be taken off at half time, and he kind of, I wouldn't say he left Kobe Mainoo in the middle of the park himself, but he looked kind of isolated at times. Middle of the park was a real struggle yesterday for United.
Yeah, it was, and I find it difficult to have a pop at Casemiro for all what he's done in his career. He's a serial winner. He's an unbelievable player. He's won everything he's won, but your eyes don't lie, tell lies. You know yourself, Ali. When you come into the end, and I did it at Newcastle towards the end, you lose your legs in midfield.
Yep.
Turn and you can't get up against the ball. It's such a spotlight on you, and I think that's what's happened with Casemiro. He's still a good player. Still got a place at Man United as a squad player, coming on with a 1-0 lead and settling the game down with his experience. But when it comes to starting a game against the likes of Liverpool and City and the Chelseas of this world and Arsenal, he's not going to be able to do it. And hopefully the guy they brought in, Tiger, is going to give us the legs, like I say, because it's looking like Casemiro is going to be a bit part player for the football club.
I tell you what a moment for Toby Collier and Nicky as well. There you are, 2-0 down at half-time against your absolute arch rivals. On you go, son. Replace one of the greatest players of all time on your debut. Was a big ask.
Yeah, it was a big ask, but it just goes to show the mentality of the young players that are coming through. That's the one good thing I would still say about Man United. They bring in players through the right mentality. Look at Kobe, obviously, last year. But they've got the right mentality to come onto that football pitch and play football, regardless of who they're against or the state of the game at that moment in time. But he come on, he looks a good stature, big lad. He can keep the ball, he's calm, composed, and I think he's got a big future. I
thought we were going to let you away, Nicky, and I'm going to get around for one more, but I'm going to throw it at you anyway. How are we going to get Marcus Rashford playing to his potential again, get a smile on his face? How are we going to do it, mate?
I don't know, and it's actually sad watching that, because I've known Marcus since he was probably 8 and 9 at Man United coming through, and he's always been the one that you hold hope for. And I do believe, and people will be screaming down the phone now probably, but I do believe he's still got the talent to be one of the best top players in the world. He's just not clicking for the last few years at Man United. You're always saying he's just going to do it, but it's looking like maybe it's time for a change for him. No one really knows what his mentality is, but there's a lot of talent within that man, and he's a top footballer, but it's just not happening for him at Man United now. People always point to the fact of his body language. He doesn't care. I can tell you now he does care. He loves Man United. He's a proper lad, but it's just not clicking for him. So maybe it is, time to go and find a club where he can get a bit of a deep breath. And not the eyes aren't on him all the time. He's not because he is the excuse for all the fans.
Yeah.
All the fans at him, and it's not just him. The whole team, the whole squad needs to up the game.
Nicky, thanks for your time.
Brilliant, mate. Thanks.
Have a good day.
All the best.
Cheers.
Of course, you're going to get me in a big trouble by asking an extra question there. Because I've got a text I've got to read out.
Go on.
Hi, I'm called Mark from Manchester. Erik ten Hag needs to go. The people shouted hard for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to go, and it's backfired. Get Ole back. He finished top 4 in his reign. Playing from the back for us doesn't work in our favour unless they move the goals to the halfway line. Mark, thank you very much. Indeed, coming up, is Haaland on track to be the greatest Premier League striker ever? We'll ask Ali that question next.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.